Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this world. My name's Jade, and this is the Rant. And today we're going to be discussing what exactly is a studio. So let's urge. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Jade and this is How to App on iOS. No, it's not. It's the Rant. What am I talking about? It's way too early. What am I going to talk about? Well, studios. Welcome aboard. Studios. They're fascinating things, aren't they? Don't even know what they are these days. Hopefully we can pick through the weeds together and find out exactly what they are. First of all, let's discuss what happened yesterday on the opening hours, just so anybody else doesn't have to deal with what I dealt with yesterday. Now, I blamed YouTube on my stream, so if you didn't see it, you won't see it because the video's gone, but I kicked off my usual opening hour to a massive round of loopback, which I could not solve. Could not find what the problem was anywhere, and it turns out, guess what it was? That favorite app that I just love so much and don't know why I continue to use it, Discord. Thanks, Discord. So if you don't know, Discord runs in the background on your computer. And usually I shut it down every show. And yesterday I left it on and basically I put my ads up for what I'm doing. And in one of the groups, it just started playing. And it was running in the background, so I couldn't see it running. I didn't know what it was, but it turned out that's what it was. So now it will never do it again because I've removed all the volume from Discord. Discord sucks. It's just a place for people to get together and exchange really horrible stuff and really horrible messages and real backstabby, horrible place, in my opinion. And, whenever anything goes down on YouTube, whenever there's some kind of like exposure of a YouTuber or something happens on Discord, something happens if somebody's bad and there's messages that are exposed, guess where they always come from? You guessed it, Discord. Because it's not really a nice place. It comes across as a nice place with like groups willing to help, but they always end up getting infested with people who just want to cause shit. Just like most places on the internet. Well, in modern era anyway, I think most of the time that's been a thing on the internet of people congregating, and after a while, the shit seeps in and then people just join who want to start trouble. But yeah, I'm not really a fan of Discord, so it was just ironic yesterday that it turned out to be Discord that was the bane in my performance. And that will never happen again. Let me tell you that. As I say, mistakes make you better, folks, and only if you learn from them. Only if you learn from them. So this morning, the first thing I did when I got up was make sure that Discord has no sound. And here's one of the things. Because I have a Rodecaster over here, there's my Rodecaster. Every time I open Discord, it tries to steal the audio from my Rodecaster. It always comes up and says, Rodecaster wants to take control of your audio. And yesterday, it must have taken control of my audio completely and was integrated into this wonderful beast here. But anyway, you've heard enough of my complaints. I just thought I would give a little bit of background because we were all scratching our heads, including me the most, because I've been doing this now for what? Almost 5 years and never had that happen before. Ever. And was like, hang on a minute. Oh. This place is a well-oiled machine. You can't do that. It's well-oiled. All right, let's say hello to you all and we'll get into talking about a studio. Yes, I know it is. It's episode 69 and I really should have done something a bit racier for this episode. I looked at it last night and was like, I should have done something on innuendo and, I don't know, sarcasm or humor. It seems though we just had some drama with Gladys Worthington this week performing live and some people got really upset and decided to leave the channel. But that's another story, isn't it? Nice episode 69. I know you're all, look at you all. You're all such wonderful little, aren't you? Yeah. All right. So let's say hello. Leela, Ed, Thomas Christ, that's Ed B there. Mark Bro, Capsalam, the beautiful Capsalam. We got Hugh already said, did I say Hugh? Hugh Caldwell, nice. You weirdos. Right. Cover by CQ, Third Person Productions. Joe, Glenn, Barry Glenn, did I see both of them there? Ed Zielinski, Ed to the Z. Cover by CQ. I think there's Joe, there's Barry Glenn, and there's Can I Consider Romper Stomper Bomper Boot. Remember I used to do that years ago? I used to put up the magic mirror and read out everybody's names. That's all the old stupid things we used to do on this channel. Long gone memories of the past. There's Joe. So look, if you are a member here on the channel, you may have saw a post I put up last night. Yes, it's happening. Crow, hello, hello, hello. So it is happening this week. If you are a member of the channel, go to the community tab on this channel. There's a post waiting for you. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it happens and it's fun. Or maybe it's not. If you're weak, if you listen, if you don't get it, the New Year's roast is happening. If you are a Wart Warrior, a $1 member here on the channel, you will see in the members tab a link to the New Year's roast happening this Friday, US UK time at this time. I saw you. You've already sent in a song, Mark. And a few other people have already sent in songs. How does it work? What is it all about? Well, here's the deal. So it's happening this time on Friday, US UK time. All you got to do is send in a track. Now, we have a wonderful community here, very supportive, yeah, so supportive. It's ridiculous how supportive it is. It's just amazing. But, you know, it can't always be positive all the time. So we thought, this has been running a couple of years now, the roast. We thought we'd create a show where we just let our hair down and say completely unhinged rubbish about each other's songs. And who better to do it than me, Russ, and Russ's mum, Dot, who's just probably the worst of all of us. She's very mean. And you guys get to come along in the chat and totally slate each other's songs. And we've done it a few times. This is probably about the 6th one we're going to do, and it's normally really, really funny. I remember the first one we did, I was really nervous about saying really horrible stuff about each other's songs. It was you guys in the audience who were the worst. You slated me. I think my song was the first one we ever slated. And boy, you were relentless. I was like, why the hell are we doing this? So look, it's just a good bunch of release. And, you know, if you hear about it and you get the idea to come along and get upset about it, don't get involved. But it's meant to be, I think it's a community building thing. You know, it's meant to be fun. Yeah. So, but that's the thing too. Like, I'm just trying to be funny when I say it. Or am I? See, that's the thing. You never know, really, do you? Because we often think about it too when we get our music played on shows. Do these people really like my music? Well, this is kind of like the opposite spectrum. Do these people really hate my music? I just think it's an interesting psychological kind of way to look at the reverse of all the great shows we have that play your music. So if you want to get involved, there is a link on the community tab for the members only. You've got to be a member. It will only be streamed to members only, so you can only watch it and participate if you're a $1 member. And there's no tiers here on the channel. It's just $1 for everybody, depending on where you live. If you're in Canada, it's $38 million, whatever. But that's out the way. That's done. And Dot, Russ's mum, is just hilarious. She's so funny. And if you get above a score of 2 from Dot, then I don't know, you're a genius. Because I've heard her slate some of the best songs ever and say they were absolute dog shit. Jenny Jolivet, Semtex Cow, g'day. Crow, hello. I'm poet, I didn't know it. All right, let's get down. We're going to talk about studios today, yeah? I'm going to have a sip of coffee because it's very early here. And the last few days in Australia have been like almost 40 degrees Celsius. Putrid Last night we got hit by rain. We had a massive thunderstorm last night. Looks like it's going to cool down a little bit today. Yay. I think we're looking at today a top of, 27. Still horrible. And wet and muggy. Awesome. Yay. So still horrible here in Australia. Oh, wow, that coffee is intense. Hey, oh, that'll put hair on your tits. Wow. Okay, are we ready? I love this this new joke that is going on here. I noticed it yesterday. If I wasn't in such a shit mood with my show yesterday, I would have been laughing at this far more often. I'm gathering that's the joke because of this guy with his stupid lettering in his name. Everyone just writing in foreign languages. Very funny, you guys. This is why I keep you all on the payroll. Very funny stuff. All right, let's get serious now. We've got to get serious because that's what this show's all about. What is a studio? It's an interesting question because a lot of us, myself included, we watch a lot of content here on YouTube about the best studio gear, how to improve your studio, all this kind of stuff. And it got me thinking because I watch a lot of this stuff and, fucking pro studio headphones, pro monitors, pro microphone, pro this, pro that. Everything's fucking pro, isn't it? And it got me thinking, what is pro? Well, maybe we should find out. Professional, that's what it's short for, isn't it? Relating to or belonging to a profession. Ooh, professional. Wow. Engaged in specified activity as one's main paid occupation. Okay, because that's what I always kind of thought it was. If you're a professional, you were getting paid for your craft. It's more than a hobby. A person engaged in specified activity, especially a sport, as a main paid occupation rather than a pastime. Well, isn't that fascinating? So does that mean if I head out and buy the new HD Pro headphones, I'm now getting paid? Professionally? No, it doesn't. So I want to break down into this whole pro. Everything's pro. Download this app. It's free, but you can upgrade to the pro version. No, I don't know. Will it make me a professional if I download this? If I get these headphones, will I become a professional audio engineer and understand everything about audio engineering? Or will I still just be the same numpty with a pair of headphones that were algorithmically set to a certain EQ that I could never capture because I'm in a room totally different than the person who made them? Well, now we're starting to go down a hole, aren't we? That's what she said on episode 69. Gary Hubbs, Mr. Smith, hello, welcome to the chat. It's an interesting thing because I see a lot of studios. Well, all right, let's start back here. I've had the pleasure to record in a lot of pro studios as a youngster. I've got to pay a lot of money to go and sit into studios. Some albums I've been a part of recording have cost upward $20,000, and I've been in a studio for 2 weeks, in every day, doing the grind, recording stuff. And wow, the studio looked really professional. Did that mean that it was going to be like an amazing album? Well, I've been in studios where everything looked really cool and the gear was really awesome. But, the guy behind the desk was a bit of a tosser. And we just didn't gel with him. And all that money that we spent, we ended up coming out with a demo that sucked balls. So, was the studio really that good, or is it the guy who's in control of it? Does it matter, all the gear that you've got in front of you? Or, do you actually have to understand how to use that gear? I think you probably should be aiming more to understand what you have before you start trying to understand what you haven't got. It's interesting. It is. I find this super interesting because over time, studio spaces have changed. And those guys who had kind of like the music industry cornered, sitting over here going, they have to come to me to record their music and put it out. Well, they're not laughing so hard now, are they? I'm sure they're because I saw some really interesting statistics last night in a video that was kind of all over the place. I'll mention the video because I think you should watch it. It even was going to inspire me to do a little bit of a rant in the future. Of course, it is by our good friend Ben Jordan. If you're not subscribed to Ben Jordan, then I don't know what to tell you. You're doing it wrong. You're doing YouTube wrong. BENNJORDAN. This is the video here. It is using AI to detect AI music. But what was fascinating in this video that he talked about not only was how to detect AI and how much AI music is kind of being played by Spotify and taking over, was just how much money are we making from individual streaming artists, and how much of that music that is going up there is actually any good, is actually real or not. Because this is the thing. Music isn't, I got lost there. How much music is actually being released by major labels compared to independent artists? And independent artists are actually releasing more music than major labels at the moment. They have been overcome completely. So the whole concept of the recording studio is a thing of the past. It really is. And, that makes me think about, well, what is the studio? Because do you need all the gear? I've done many rants on this before. No, you don't. I actually was probably at my happiest with recording music when I was living in a park with an iPad, an interface, a microphone and an acoustic guitar, even though I was homeless, which was the sucky bit. And I was scrounging off the Wi-Fi that was provided in the park. And all my stuff was being powered by power bricks, constantly charging. And during the day, I would go and charge them all up at the local laundromat. I was making more music in that situation than sitting here in a spacecraft studio, like I'm flying to Mars. Understandably, there are factors included in this where obviously I do this show all the time, and this takes up the majority of my time. So there's that as well. So I got to factor that in. And normally by the time you do all of this, the YouTube thing, you're too buggered to make music. So that's just a consequence of doing this. So you've got to find time. But over the time I've been invested in using iPad and stuff, I've seen some bloody small studios. And you know what? If I didn't know that's what people were recording their music on, I wouldn't have imagined somebody in a bedroom just with an iPad and a keyboard attached to it and, one mic, and that's it. I would not have imagined that. We're getting to that place now where, music it's not about gear, it's about the imagination. It's always been about the imagination, right? Let's rewind a little bit too, because remember, one of the main reasons we went to go to studios was because the only way you could record back then was to tape, and you had to, not everyone can just pull out a reel of tape and splice and cut and do all this stuff and make it all come together. You had to go to professionals who understood how to do this. Had to do edits and all that stuff. It was a different world. But as soon as, we moved into a digital era, that things completely change, yeah? Completely change all the way. We have multiple takes. You can sit here and do takes for 2 weeks and just over and over, and it's no problem. But the thing is, I've heard music by people that have been in recording studios, and they have paid hundreds and thousands of dollars to, finish an album, and it sounds like shit. I'm not going to lie. I think we've all heard that kind of thing before. And, just because you're paying a lot of money for stuff and just because you have a name of somebody behind the recording desk is never a guarantee that you're going to get a top quality product. There's so many factors, you know, and most of you will understand this. There's so many factors that go into capturing a moment, because that's all recording stuff is, isn't it? It's just capturing a moment in time. And if you're not on your game on that day when you're capturing that moment, well, guess what? You're paying for that. You can't change those days. They're locked in. You've gone in there. You get sick. You've got to do it. It's done. It's trapped. It's a moment forever, and you have to deal with it. And if you've ever gone into a studio, I'm sure Mr. Smith, Brad example, anybody who's done this, gone into studios and recorded music, you've probably got music out there that's been released, and you hear people who are fans of your music, and they come up to you and go, oh, that album, oh, I fucking love that album. And you go, oh, that album, I remember that album. I remember the fights we were having in the studio. I remember having the flu all the way through that fucking recording. I remember the pressure that was going on. And I know every time I hear that song, and that song, I hear these bits and go, fuck, I hate that bit. Man, I wish I could have redone that. Because it's just a moment in time. But now with studios, here we are. If you're feeling crap on the day, it's off. Oh, I can just do it tomorrow. I can just do it next week. I can do a million takes until I get it right. I can cheat. I can do things. I always bring up this example. Let's do this. Let's show you, man. For those of you, this is what recording to tape used to be like, right? So back in the day, I used to play in this band. This is one of my first bands called Despised. Despised. Let's see if I can find it. And when we recorded this album, here it is. This was the album we recorded back in, oh God, it was 2005 or something like this. And it never got released. And there was thousands of dollars spent on this album. Here it is. Thousands of dollars spent on this album. It was fraught with problems. I got sick doing vocals for it. There's just so many problems. Everyone was fighting in the band. We didn't get along with the engineer. The person who was paying for the album, who was fronting the money, which was like $20,000. Her son came in to kind of oversee us in the studio, and he was really irritating and would interfere in everything and get this. I'll never forget this moment. We were trying to get a fucking, oh my God, we're trying to get a kick drum sound, and he kept going into the studio and moving the mic, and then the engineer would go in and move the mic back, and then he'd go in and move the mic, and they just did this for 2 hours. And it's like, dude, you're not even involved. It's just your mum paying for the fucking album, and you're moving the mic, and and then when the engineer was saying to him, why do you keep moving the mic? He's like, because I want the drums to sound like a funnel. And we're all looking at each other going, what the fuck is a what does that even mean? But this is the shit that would happen in a recording studio. Shit that you're just like, I'm paying for this, man. Well, I'm not really. Somebody's paying for it, and I've got to pay them back. This is a debt I have to fix, right? And in this one song, Follow Me, I was so sick. This was the last song we did for vocals, and I was so sick. I had the flu, and I just couldn't sing anymore. And there's this one line I couldn't hit, which goes, I'll take you to the promised land. And it's not really that much of a high note, but so let me find the song. Here we go. I'm going to show you. Here we go. So it's the last line. Listen to the word land. Okay, I'll play that back one more time. So it says, I'll take you to the promised land. But just listen to the word land. Okay, so why am I showing you this? Well, I could not get that line, that last land. Every time I did the take, I'd take it to the my voice would crack. I had the flu. It was awful. And we're still recording to tape at this time. This is not like just easy days. And the audio engineer just said to me, go in there and I'm going to slow the tape down. Can you sing it like you're singing slow? And luckily, I like to do impersonations, and I can kind of control my voice a bit. So I literally went in there and sung that whole line like this. I'll take you to the promised land. And then we sped the tape up. I'll take you to the But that is the kind of pain that you would have to go through back in a studio, back before we got to digital. It was super painful. These days, you do that in a second with an app. You can just slow down the thing digitally, but speed it back up. But these are tricks that we used to have. So, not every singer could go in and do that. Right? Not every singer could go and do that. And you don't want to go in and have to do that for a whole lot of parts and stuff. But, I go back and listen to this album and go, oh, man, there's so... But here's the thing, right? And this goes back to, people come up to you and go, I love that album. And you automatically have... You've got trauma. And I've got trauma over that song. I remember going to so many parties or whatever, places where friends were, and they put on this album. And as soon as this bit would come up, something in my brain would always go as soon as this line would come up, I'd go, hey, everybody, does anyone want drinks? And I'd talk over the top of it. Like people could know that it was happening. And nobody ever, not once, ever was like, hey, has anybody noticed that line Jade sings that was sung obviously in slow and then sped up? Because, you know what happened behind the curtain, don't you? And, I do. I feel guilty about that shit. I should be able to sing that. Hey, Bonfire, Chris Lane Sr., welcome aboard, rebooted and present. Mateus, g'day. Boons Bra, hello. And if I've missed anyone, boom, we're at our halfway point, aren't we? Yep, we're just here now. We're going to run our ad, and then I'll continue talking bollocks because that's what I do best. The effect, this effect too comes down to stuff like, the YouTubers telling you, listen, you're not a pro studio unless you have these headphones. But it'll never happen. There'll never be a day when somebody's listening to your music and goes, you know what, I like that song by Chris Lane Sr., really great song. But did anyone else notice that he clearly wasn't using those headphones that makes him pro? So I don't like that song. It's the same with microphones, man. So many microphones, right? It's if you don't have this microphone, it's the end of the world. And there's nobody out there who goes, oh, fucking would have been a great song, but if they had to use that Rode NT1, nobody's ever going to say that bullshit. It's just nonsense. All right, let's run the ad. So the ad, you can avoid the ad by becoming a YouTube Premium subscriber or by skipping the ad, and we'll be back if you get served one. You may or may not. So the ad has been run. And while we're here, I'll remind you all one more time. If you remember the Sunday, that's the other show. The New Year's Roast is available on the members section of this channel. And if you go there, there's a form. You can go click the form, send in your song. It's happening this Friday, US UK time, at the same time this show starts. And guess what? Your song will get roasted by me, Russ, and his mum, Dot. And she doesn't hold back. She's an absolute vicious, venomous snake in the grass, ready to rip you apart. And it's all done for comedy, nothing serious. So if you're going to get offended by it, don't send in a song, because it's not, we're not real. It's I just need to put this out there, guys. Hey, Russ, there's Russ in the chat. All right. So, recording studios. Let's get into today's world of recording studios, because the simple way is a cheap interface. Because you know what? Listen, here's some truths. It doesn't matter what interface you get these days. They're pretty much the jacks, yeah? Everything, they're all fucking at a quality. Think about this as a good analogy. Mobile phones, yeah? Here we are. We have the power in our pocket 100 times, probably even more, 1,000 times the than what put men on the moon, right? If you're not cray-cray and think that's nonsense, It's the same with what we have in our little home interfaces. In mics, you see a mic with $150 and you see some YouTuber going, oh, these are very cheap microphones. Fucking Rode make microphones for 150. Well, that's 150 Australian. $100 for a microphone by Rode. Are you kidding me? That is going to get you through. An SM fucking 57, 58. These things are going to get you through. Sure, you can go and buy stuff that's worth $1,000. You can go and do all that stuff. It ain't going to make you a better musician, I'm telling you. The only way to do that is to get better. That's just it. That's it. People tell you, go and get these monitors. They're amazing. These monitors will make you sound pro. No, they won't. Here's the thing, right, with the headphones and monitors. I need to get this out. This fucking... it irritates me so much, man. I've watched so many videos on headphones and fucking monitors. Remember, headphones, they say they're Studio Pro. They're all this and that. They all have an EQ curve. It's very hard to find a set of headphones that is completely flat. Is there even a pair that do it? Right? And every one of them is set to somebody's taste, somebody's ear hole. Even if it's a machine that has taken data from a whole bunch of ear holes around the world, it's still a collection of fucking things that make up a thing that is not you. It's just not you. And the problem is with labeling things like studio and this will make your stuff better, is that none of these products, these companies or the people shilling them have any idea of just how close you've been sitting to speakers your whole life, how many Metallica gigs you've been to and gone, I'll just stand right next to this speaker that's the size of a building, shouldn't hurt my hearing. Right? No, they don't know. Right? If you're a construction worker and your whole job is with jackhammers all day, your hearing is going to be completely different to the next person. The things you hear, everything that we hear is going to be fucking completely different. It really, hearing the word pro and hearing these EQ curves, and it's the same with monitors, right? Now, monitors are a little bit different because for the longest time, monitors would just... That's what they are. They're just two monitors and they're going to sound the same for everybody. These days, I think that space is getting a little more interesting, how they sell these microphones with the monitors and you can sit them in the room and run the whole test and it calibrates your monitors to your space, right? That's getting to a place that's definitely better, yeah, because it's able to pick up how well you've treated your room or how well you haven't treated your room. And it can actually give you a curve that is going to work. But is even that the right thing? Obviously not, because no matter how anal you get about all this stuff, right? How anal you get about the monitors being the right and you sitting in the right place and your monitors aimed at you and the headphones and all the... You're recording in your own space. Your space. It's your hearing. And there's always going to be somebody who hears it and goes, fucking sounds terrible. Because he was probably that guy who was at the Metallica gig with his head leaned against the speaker the size of the Empire State Building going, yeah, this will be good for me when I'm 80. That's it, right? The presets audio interface is the same as the legacy console, not the headphones. If you want a flat curve, listen. The biggest problem is that you've got to just trial and error until you find what works for you. That's just it. The bottom line is, does it sound good to you? That's it. My advice for all that kind of stuff, for buying gear, is just start cheap. Just with what you got. Like that is it. That is the main way to go. If you can't get good sounding music out of cheap shit, then it doesn't matter what you add. It's still, you're still going to produce shit sounding music. Like, because you have to learn how to use it. Each time you buy something, guess what? You got to learn how to fucking use it. And if you're too lazy to even learn how to use the cheap shit that you have, Wah, wah. Then you're not going to be fucking invested in learning to get the new thing that you got. You're going to learn what you got, and there's just too many artists now that are making great music with rubbish stuff. I've heard songs. There's been a lot of songs I've heard and gone, wow, the vocals sound really good in that, only to be told they sung into the fucking mic on their iPhone. Fuck off. And and then you troll YouTube and see all these videos of like, this microphone for $8,000 is the only way to go. It's like, but what about this? Is that an anomaly? Was it fluke? Or is it somebody who just understands their voice and understands where to sit the phone and actually make it sound? Yeah? So technique, that's it. It gets back to the point I said at the start. You can go and pay for a fucking studio. I could go to Sing Sing Studios here in Australia. It's massive studio, beautiful place. It's so luxurious. It just looks amazing when you walk in. It's like walking into some kind of temple or something. It's a temple of making music. But if the guy behind the console's a dickhead and he doesn't even get along with you, it's just not going to be right, is it? So, but yeah, and spaces. Here's the other thing with treatment. Like it's a very confronting thing because recently I've had to try and treat this room. I've never treated a room before, right? And I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I just came in here and tried to put stuff up that actually made a difference. And I had so many different combinations of putting just these blocks of foam up, yeah? So the combinations that I have in here, I did this the other day on the stream. Let me show you how I treated the room. Now, this didn't come just by just going, all right, I'm going to put one there, I'll put one there, I'll put one there, I'll put one there, and then just leave it and that's it. I actually had to go and put things up and then sit back and record myself talking and then listen to how it worked. Right, and then I ran my microphone in here, the little mic I have for my KRK speakers, to try and see how that sounded. So it was a little bit of trial and error, yeah? And I still don't think I know what I'm doing. I still don't fucking know what I'm doing. And I'm sure there'd be some wanker who'd come in here tomorrow and go, why have you got like ones there? And I'd be like, you know what? Fuck off. Why don't you shut your mouth? Because I like it, all right? But, you know, everybody, this is the problem, isn't it? Everybody needs to fucking correct you on stuff. Everybody needs to tell you. And, you know, this room isn't dead. It's still got an amount of reverb in here, right? You don't want, see, Mix Club says here, I hate mixing in a dead room. You still want to have some kind of live sound in here. You don't want to just kill it. Maybe, you know, for having vocals, it's really good to be in a completely dead room, but there's a lot of things that happen in this room. This is a multi-purpose studio. And there's different kinds of, so many types of studios. Art studios, videography studios, recording studios, rehearsal studios. It goes on and on. Bedroom studios. Fucking studios in lounge rooms that have a curtain go across. Fucking look at Patrick Baird. He does his show. He's virtually in a fucking broom closet. It's so tiny. It doesn't really matter what it is like. Yeah, what size it is, what the gear is. I think it's still a studio. If you make music in it, it's a studio. You call it what you want, boo. But I did see a video the other day on YouTube that really made me laugh a lot. This is part of what inspired today's show. He was really angry. I'm not going to link it because I don't want to I'm not that kind of person. I don't want to get people to go over there and then cause shit. But his whole thing was like, if it's not in a proper recording studio, don't call it a studio. And it's like, oh man, really? Like this is what keeps you up at night? Like it has to be these dimensions and oh fuck. There's some really bent out of shape pricks out there who in every kind of industry that you're in are just like, get a grip, buddy. It's really not that important. Call it what you want, you know? So I was going to show you this. I was going to grab my side cam here. and show you what I did with my treatment, because it's, yeah, here we go. Have we got movement? There we go. Hey, look at that. So this is what I chose to do, right? So here's the back wall, and we got 4 panels running up here. Got some great posters, yeah. And there's a great Slayer flag over there in the corner. There's my Hitchhiker's Guide. There's one of my lights. You notice my lights, how one of them's facing sideways across, and the other one over here is facing straight against the wall. So none of them are kind of actually directly on my face. So there's 2 up there. And in front of me here, where I'm looking at, this is, I think, very important to have soundproof up there. So we got another 2 up there in the corner. We got 4 there. Well, 4 along the, just up here. And in here, this probably needs a bass trap more than anything. See in this groove here? There's like this doorway, this little groove, and it's capturing all this sound that's bouncing off in there. Really interesting kind of thing to try and work around. And if you wanted to know, there are the fishies. Look, there's Dread Circus. Dread and Circus. Say hello, Dread Circus. There they are. So there's the fishies swimming around. But that is all I virtually did. And you know what? I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But what happened was, oh, and the carpet. See, carpet? Because this is a wooden floor. Wooden floor, yeah? So I had to put some carpet down to combat the horrible reverb that was in here. Is that back to normal? Yeah, here we go. That'll do. Oh, look, you get to see my camera, my overhead camera up there too. No, Gladys is not eating the fish. There we go. Rear reflections from behind monitors are killers on mixers, especially for messing with low end. Now, is this perfect? I'm sure there would be someone out there who's going to say, you're doing it wrong. They're not in my fucking room. They're not in here. They're not here. How are you going to make that? Oh, man, everybody's an expert. So imagine telling somebody that, like, from the internet through compressed sound on YouTube, I've decided that what you've done is completely and utterly wrong. Because I'm an audiophile. I can hear everything. No, you can't. Can't, dude. You're listening to compressed MP3 audio through YouTube. You're not in the space. And this is, again, why headphones, you know, they say they're pro and they say they're this. I did a show on headphones a little while ago, yeah? A little while ago where I bought certain ones that people say are great. And every time I put them on, they sound like there's a cat scratching the inside of my ear. Does that mean they're bad headphones? No, not at all. Does that mean I should shit on them? Absolutely not. Because my hearing is different than everybody fucking else's. Everyone else's is different to mine. And for a lot of people, they're great. And heaps of people give these ones great reviews and say they're perfect. Yeah, look, again, with this video by Ben Jordan that I just showed, you really should go and watch this. Thomas put a link to it. He talks about in there how MP3 was a technology that was way before its time. Way before its time. They were able to remove 3/4 of the audio from the wave files, the lossless wave files. And if they've done blind tests on people and played, like, here's the wave file, here's MP3, and most people, the majority, can't tell. And they've removed 3/4 of the audio data from them. Man, it's like people who tell you that they can sing fucking pitch perfect. Fuck off. You're a liar. People who tell you they're audiophiles and they can tell the difference between, fuck off. You're an idiot. You're trying to just up people, and you're not doing yourself any favors, honestly. Like, people just think you're a wanker every time you come in the room. It's like, hey, here comes Mr. Pitch Perfect. Hey, here comes Mr. I'm an audiophile and I can tell everything. I swear, you're putting a target on your back and everybody's laughing at you because you're amazing. Like, you've never had any fucking, you've never been like overexposed to the sound and your hearing's gone. Shut up. Stop wasting my time. Pete Johns. Work used to be a place you go. Now it's a thing you do. Studios are now the same. My studio is the park bus, my car. Yes, Wolfstone Studio, man. He records all of his vocals in his car. And if nobody told you, right, you wouldn't know. That's the thing. Nobody would tell you. No, you would know. It's just, that's the way it is. Studios are just whatever you want them to be, Studios, pro headphones, pro this, pro that. Everything's fucking pro. Most things are pro with a subscription. Do you know what pro means now? More money. That's what it means. More money so you can wank off in front of everybody and go, look at me, I'm a pro. No, you're not a pro. Unless you're making money from something. We discussed the meaning of pro at the beginning of the show. Are you a pro, really? I like my studio to be around what I do. Yeah? You should be using whatever it is that you have to make music, whatever it is. You shouldn't be always looking to, find something better unless the thing that you're using is not doing what you want it to do. Unless there's good reason. If you have a thing and every time you use the thing isn't producing the things that you want the thing to do, well, guess what? You're probably looking for a new thing. Again, it comes down to this feature and benefit thing. Companies that release say, oh, we've got new features. Are they? What's the benefit? And a lot of companies can't explain what the benefit of their new feature is, right? But if you have a thing to do a thing and it's not doing the thing that you want it to do, that's probably when you need to find a thing that does do what you want it to do. And that's when you do your research. And don't listen to fucking wankers telling you that, but everybody's got this and this is pro and this will. No. Think about your space. Think about what you want to do. This is the same reason I do apps here on the channel. I'm not a salesperson. I say this all the time. Yeah? I'm not here to sell you apps. I'm not a salesperson. I'm here to explore an app, to learn an app, to understand how it works to my best ability, and then show you. And then you make the decision. What I think is irrelevant. It really is irrelevant because I have specific interests, musical tastes, and some of them people don't agree with, comedic values that some people don't agree with, It doesn't matter what I think. I'm just trying to give you a look at what the thing does so you can get your creative juices running. It's the same way I began working at American Express. I used to work for a shitty outsource company called Salesforce. And we would get hired by major companies like American Express and Telstra and just bigger companies to do campaigns for them. So we actually weren't American Express. We were just a company, a smaller outbound sales company. And I was able to do so well selling American Express products without having the entire database of stuff when you work at American Express that they noticed me and went, you should actually come and work for us. Imagine what you could do with all the keys to the engine. And that is the same thing with, going and finding gear, right? Imagine what you could do with the thing that is specific to the thing that you want the thing to do so you can do the thing. There's a lot of things in there. On episode 69. Paul, baseline, hello. Did I already say that? Oh, my memory's fucked. Just deleted a bunch of plugins that were taking up space in the MacBook. Took a lot of space and resources. Sometimes, you know what? Always less is more. Always, always, always. It just, get that. Just do it. But I try not to tell you to do things. People have got to find things out themselves. I can just rant here and talk a load of nonsense from the experiences I've had. Your experience will differ. That's just the way it is. Yeah, that's the way it is. It's, so. But I'm ranting about my experiences and how they've helped me. And, if you go back and watch early episodes of this show, I was running on very shoestring gear to do this show. I have a lot of really good stuff in this studio now. Do I use most of it? No. Do I wish I had the time to? Yes, all the time. Has it made the show better? I think so. I think it looks better. That's been the goal. See, my thought process on buying better gear, or not better gear that I'm able to utilize to my needs. The Rodecaster over here, this thing. This is overkill for so many people, but the Stream Deck combined with these make my life easier to do things like moving cameras and it makes the show hopefully look better and better. Like, that's the goal, to make it look better. That's the only thing. That's all I give a shit about, making things look better, and hopefully you get a better look at the thing I'm trying to show you through what I have. The mics, man, I'm not using super expensive mics, the gear I promote is, I don't recommend getting a Rodecaster at all. But like anything, just buy things that are going to have specific case uses, yeah? Absolutely specific case uses that are important individually to you. That is the most important thing. Fuck all these channels that man, I've watched so many mic reviews, so many headphone reviews, so many monitor reviews, and you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Do what makes you happy. Do the things that you like. Buy cheap stuff and understand your space. Yeah? Understand your space. It's the most important thing. Do you feel comfortable in the space that you're recording music in? That's more important than any of the gear. Is it a place that you walk into every day and go, I like this room. I like this little corner that I have. I feel good. That is, I swear to God, one of the single most important things you can do, regardless of size. Because, on episode 69, size doesn't matter. But it is very important, I believe, to be able to walk into a space and just as soon as you walk into it, however big it is, you feel, I just press a button and I can do it. And that again too is, for anyone who watches Mr. Who's the Boss, huge channel, more subscribers than Apple. The one thing about what he tries to build with, he's kind of like doing episodes on his house that he's putting together, all this smart technology and stuff. But one of his latest episodes, he's building a smart gymnasium in his house. Buying shit that's way beyond our means, right? But the first thing you notice that he says in that episode, when he bought all this ludicrous, crazy tech just to make a gym, was, when you walk in the door, do you feel like doing the thing that you're walking in there? Does it hold your attention to stay in there and feel comfortable to do it? Because nobody's going to sleep in a bed that's filled full of broken glass, right? So if your space feels nice, then you're going to feel nice and comfortable and relaxed. And the gear, it means fuck all, right? Pete Johns is up next and he's got to run. So I will dump you over there to him. He's got Your Music Live and he's playing Your Music Live. And that's going to be awesome. And I'll dump you there. We've got 3 minutes, folks. Yeah, nobody sleeps in a bed full of their own feces. Unless, I don't know. Hey, if you do, I'm sorry. There. How do we get there? Feel comfortable in your space. Like, feel comfortable in your own skin, yeah? That's why I say do the things that make you happy. Like, that's it. And you should feel nice when you walk in your space. And listen, this fish tank over here, oh man, I really didn't expect to get a fish tank. And I've had to turn I've spent a whole heap of money I didn't plan on doing. But I'll tell you what it has provided, more than anything, in this room, which was really lacking. I feel like I've got something to care about in here, a couple of fish. And all I do is walk in each day and grab the food and put it in there and go, hello, fishies. It's changed the whole dynamic of this space. All the gear and all the bullshit really changed just by putting a couple of fish in a tank. I'm greeted by them when I walk through that door every day. And you can think I'm talking bullshit, and hey, that might not work for you. But I swear to God, since putting them in here, it's changed the dynamic. It's super good. And I just, yeah. Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. I've got a brand new filter coming tomorrow that is so low energy. I won't have to turn off the filter. So there's that. But yeah, fill your studio full of stuff that you like so you feel good. That's what I'm going to end on. That's the most important thing. Fuck the gear. Fuck all the bullshit. Make the space, no matter how large or small, because it doesn't matter. It's a studio. It's whatever you want it to be. Call it a Fatumch. I don't care. Call it a Von Dickie Burber. It doesn't matter what you call it, as long as you feel comfortable in there and you want to be in there to make things, and you have the ability to just sing loud, play loud, not feel enclosed and embarrassed, and that, you know, it's your space. That's all that matters. Somebody else's space don't mean shit. Your space is the most important space, so make it 100% yours and a happy place you want to be. I hope you've enjoyed today's rant. Tomorrow, I'll let you know, tomorrow we're taking a look at this, Scratch Bud by Chem OK. All right, let's get out of here. Pete's just about to start. He's rocking and rolling. Do the things that make you happy, folks. Mistakes make you better. We'll all rise together. Thank you for hanging out. You all rock so much. And let's bloody Oge!